Kiana here from Being in Sync 366 video series. We are fully in December and today's topic is about rest. Do you take time for rest? I'm going to start out with a poll while we let people jump in here. Wait, usually about 5 minutes. Okay. Hello. Hello. Good to see you. South African boys. Good to see you again. Thank you for being here. Oh, John. Is it John? How do we say your name? Jono? Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. Love it. All right. We have some regulars in here this morning or afternoon. So I've been going back and forth in my mind. What should the topic be? And I was like, should it be identify, locate, reveal, and heal? Should it be all these different topics in my mind? Should it be gaslighting, which is always very exciting? But I landed on this topic of rest. And so I want to talk more about rest. So we'll wait for people to get their notifications. Did you all get notified to get in here? Give me a thumbs up if you did, because I'm not sure if the notifications are going out. Okay, hello, you subscribed, awesome. So I'm drinking my intuition tea, and I have to tell you, these living teas are so interesting. They really do speak to you. Mick, I've been wondering how you are. Good to see you here, Mick. Are you feeling better? Okay, good. You got your notification. Thank you so much, Jono. So today we're talking about rest. So I put a question in the poll. So please. Okay, thanks, Wendy. Yes, you got it too. Okay. Excellent. So I was going to come on earlier, but I needed to rest. So I thought that's going to be the topic, because how often do we just kind of push through to hurry up and do what needs to be done or what we want to get done, but we actually need to rest. And I heard somebody say earlier that you feel physically where you're weak spiritually. And I thought, okay, all right, let me go find those weaknesses, all right? Because it's so interesting. So I am from California, born and raised. I've traveled around the world my entire life, and I have ended up back here in California. I always think I'm going to move, but I haven't been guided to where I'll be moving next. So until then, I'm here in California. We have people joining us from all over the world, and I love it. This whole entire channel is dedicated to alignment, to being in sync, to learning how to connect with your heart, to following the natural laws. Some of you learning about the natural laws, and I've been doing this series, the Being in Sync 366 video series, for the entire year of 2024, and it's a leap year. So, you know, when I'm challenged, I'm challenged. So today we're going to jump into the topic about rest. And if you, okay, it's 7 p.m. in the UK. Okay, good to see you here. You should visit South Africa. It's awesome, but you must visit when it's not at war, because it's a big problem. We have a lot of wars going on. I have not been to South Africa, although I did travel around the Horn. I did a trip around the world when I was in college, and we sailed around the world. So that's what I did. But this is not about that. This topic is about rest. And the question in the chat is, do you allow yourself time to rest? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I do not think it gets enough attention when we're talking about alignment. So when we're rising in consciousness, we are holding higher frequencies. These are called plasmic frequencies. And these plasmic frequencies, they all run easier when you're hydrated. Why? Because it runs through your system, and we are an electromagnetic system that has and holds water. Water runs frequency. So when we are rising up in consciousness, it often requires rest. Why do we need rest? Sometimes we don't want to rest because we want to live life 100%, right? We're here, let's be extreme. And all of that has its lessons. But when you're aligning consciously and you're not just about doing, your body needs that time to acclimate to these higher frequencies. Additionally, most people are not consciously going and unplugging from their belief systems. However, when you allow for rest, it allows for those belief systems to kind of just fall away, which is much easier than unplugging. They're both beneficial, but not always what people want to do. Most of the time, people want to just get on and forget about things. And part of our problem here on earth is that we don't remember how to be conscious, and so we have gone asleep. Most of us, not all of us, but some of us are asleep at the wheel, and you keep on repeating patterns. Well, all patterns are generated through our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. Now, if I said to you earlier that a friend of mine was speaking and said that all weaknesses in the physical begin in the spirit, that should tell you where you need to spend your time. Now, I did ask another question on the community page about where people wanted to learn about the natural laws. And it's kind of a trick question, because do you want to learn about the strengths or the weaknesses? But depending on your perspective, it's all the same, right? So rest is required for accessing higher levels of consciousness. That's unequivocally important for us all. But most people do not feel peer pressured into not resting. And I think that's an unfortunate way to derail people away from their inner knowing, their inner messages, because our body, is always signaling us. And I've always been tuned into my body. I didn't always listen. And boy, when I don't listen, I sure get a teaching. And if you want to have more gentle messages and nudges, you want to listen to the whispers of your body. Spirit speaks in whispers. The divine comes in whispers, unless you're really dense, and then you get hit, and you get hit hard, and you will be humbled. And being humbled really is not the best or easiest way to go, although it's often what is required to humble the ego mind, because the mind will keep you separate from your spiritual aspects. I'm reminded that I got this teacup on my travels on my trip when I was in Japan. It's one of my favorite teacups. Anyway, so rest is important. Now, those people that are pushing, that has a consequence. So just know that when you are choosing not to listen to your body, that also has consequences. So it's always best to be consciously choosing in alignment with your physical well-being. So, because as you are aligned physically, you are aligned spiritually. So they're one and the same. Okay. So I just want to see what a very beautiful Japanese, thank you. It's my favorite cup. I have a lot of cups. They're not all my favorite. This is my favorite. Thank you. I don't know why. I just love it. And yeah. It doesn't have any special meaning or anything like that. I just love it. I don't know. It's the perfect size, for tea. Anyways, just going to look and see what question do you guys have about rest. And let's see, we have 55 votes in here. 80% of you listen to yourself to rest. Excellent. 20% do not. So let's focus on the 80% that are right now. The 81% that are allowing their bodies to rest. And what I want to offer to the 80% that are allowing yourself to rest is to invite in pure presence, to consciously bring in the pure presence and ask to be shown what you need to see, sense, feel, or heal. Or as I said earlier, identify, locate, reveal, and heal. Because when we are in rest and we're in pure presence, it is a different quality of consciousness that allows healing to exist without resistance. So, for example, even if you're feeling constriction, you can ask to be shown how to release that constriction. If so it's just, so when you're bringing in that pure presence, you can learn. I'm always about learning and growing. So it's just a fun way to experience yourself in a new way. I love it. And it's very healing. So I just offer that as an invitation to you. Peter, welcome. We have a new subscriber with Peter. Everybody welcome Peter here. Mick is here. I hope you're feeling beautiful and healthy, and your ribs are taking some time. Okay, Mick, the invitation to bring in pure presence is there for you, and bring it into your ribs and listen to your ribs. Our bones are resonators. So they're resonators for consciousness. They're resonators in sound and light. So listen, listen, listen. Do I eat food? Yeah, I eat food. Yes, every day. And it's interesting that you asked that, because there was a time in my life where, the doctors here, they're not really smart, at least the ones that I've met. There are some smart doctors. I just haven't encountered a lot of smart doctors. But I will say there was a time in my life where I would get my blood tested, and it would come up as I was malnourished. And I thought, how can I be malnourished when I live in this world of plenty, right? I wasn't, but my body just was not absorbing nutrients. And it's really taken a real concerted effort to realign my systems, because when you think you're eating healthy but learn really you're not healthy, you will resist nutrients. Your cells will not absorb because they're absorbing toxins. So yes, I eat to nourish my body, which is a different concept than eating to stuff yourself. So I don't eat until I'm stuffed. And even like the foods that my what do you call those things where you eat them? I forget what they're called, something pleasure. Anyways, one of the foods that I like to eat, it doesn't feel good in my system when I eat it, but I'm so habitual with the food, and I can't even eat as much as I used to of that. So we change, as we change cellularly to hold higher levels of consciousness, what you crave, what you eat, how you are nourishing yourself changes. And it's different. Just breathe, right? Consciousness. Consciously breathe. Hello, India. And then people always say, why are you yelling, Kiana? The new guy. Hello, everybody. The new guy's here. I love it. Hi, nobody. Good to see you. Yes, the algorithms are doing what they do. Thank you so much, nobody. It's so good to see you here. You are somebody here, that's for sure. Going back to Cali. Have I eaten any food from India? Lax is asking if I eaten any food from India. I believe the majority of my herbs that I take every day are sourced from India. South Africa has always been on my list to go to, but I have never been. Hey, Denver. Good to see Denver's in the house. Is the new guy's asking, is sleep and rest the same thing? Well, you don't have to be sleeping to rest, but a lot of people who are requiring more rest will often sleep or fall asleep when they're restful. But rest could be just sitting with nothing. You're not looking or scrolling, you're not watching TV, you're not listening to podcasts. You're just feeling and experiencing, and oftentimes that can lead to sleep. So it's not exactly the same thing, but it could be. So it's a yes and, I'm going to say, the new guy. Just looking for questions, watching, okay. Rest is healthy for the mind and body, South African Boys is saying. Yes, it is really good. Mind, body, and soul, right? Because that we're working to be in alignment with our purpose. We're working to be in alignment with our soul expression here on earth. And so there you have it. Is it winter in your area? It is. It was a balmy, I think it's, let me see, it's like 7. Yes, it's winter here. Future is saying, let's see how great you think. Answer this question. Is Jesus a messenger of God or God himself? Well, future, I believe we're all aspects of God. So I would say Jesus was indeed, as you are, future, a messenger, and we all have different roles. We all have different purposes, and we all are to align with the consciousness itself of God consciousness. So hopefully that helps. God consciousness, Christ consciousness. There's so many different kinds of consciousness. There are different aspects. That's how massive God is and creator is, that there's so many different messengers. You know, a dog can be a messenger, a butterfly, a hummingbird. They're all aspects of creation. Jono, you sailed. That's awesome. I've always wanted to learn like my dad. Well, I wasn't quite a sailboat, but it was a ship. I think there's a lot of lessons that I must have about boats and water, or about being in the water. Even when I've had really profound experiential experiences, it's usually has some aspect or element that's deep in the oceans. My name is Kiana, and Rahul is asking, am I depressed? No. No. The new guy, we go to sleep suggesting sleep is a place. Interesting. I love the language. I really want to do a video just on language, because I also am understanding when I was learning to speak Spanish, that, you know, the nuances of language is so limited depending on where you are, from how the language has been manipulated or hijacked. But yeah, it's so interesting. Sleep and sleep being a place. I love that you brought that up, the new guy, because I agree with you. Sleep is not a place, but it's an aspect of our beingness, and how awake are we in our sleep depends on how conscious you are. Like I had a healer once tell me, Kiana, stop working in your sleep. But I do a lot of work in my sleep. Sleep is not necessarily the same for me as it is for most people who want to go and like check out. I find sleep a good place to do a lot of work. And I also get taught in my sleep. Like a lot of new processes that I've learned during my sleep time from working with different energies. Rest is essential for staying healthy. I ground every day. Good job, Jono. Is it Jono? Am I saying it wrong? You know, I'm now extra sensitive about saying names incorrectly on here. So I am sorry in advance for anybody whose name I pronounced incorrectly. And always take what resonates for you on this channel and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. You don't even have to tell me it doesn't resonate. You can tell me you disagree. I'm okay with that, but we can agree to disagree. That's what kind of channel we have here. But yes, rest is pivotal. So people who have some type of infiltration will always have difficulty sleeping and resting, right? And then usually people who are having trouble sleeping also can't turn their mind off or can't get still within. So rest is essential to health, wellness, and well-being because our cells need to be calibrated. Rahul is saying, does meditation help? I think the vast majority of meditations are good. I think the only kind of meditations that I don't ascribe to, and I see it's become really popular, are listening to regular voice activated or app activated meditations that are running the same frequency every day. So if you're changing up your meditations, I think that's a good practice, but you shouldn't be running the same frequency with a meditation or a meditator every single day. So Jono, do you have any book recommendations on the natural laws? I don't have any book recommendations that I have read, but let me see. I always say it's good to use a variety of resources on the natural laws. One that a lot of people don't resonate with that I like is called Lisa Renee. She has a website. It's very supportive. Her website is like a book, but you really just got to see what resonates with you. So you can Google, but I don't even recommend Googling. I would actually use another search engine, because you don't get the same searches from like a Google, or even some of the other search engines have stopped giving you websites that will help you access higher levels of consciousness. So I would suggest changing your web browser to something that's more free. And I also wonder how many of you are on Telegram on here. And if you're on Telegram, would you be interested in a group where we could chat and share resources on Telegram, which is a free, it's a much higher frequency than what everybody seems to be using, which I don't know. Are people still on Facebook? I went off Facebook. I mean, I have a presence on there, but I'm not on there. So no, I don't have a recommendation, a specific one. And the reason why I don't have a specific recommendation is because I haven't found it for a book. And I also am very cautious about people who say things are the natural laws, which aren't actually natural laws. I talk about the natural laws and the various ones. I've done it throughout this 366 days that I've been doing these lives, but I don't want to, that's all I have to say. Yesterday I talked about the law of transcendence. I think you were here for that. I was going to talk about the law of structure today, but then, rest seems to be more prevalent because we need to have rest to be congruent. We need to have rest to hear ourselves differently. If we're overtaxed, overexhausted, over anything, overstimulated, it's going to be very difficult to listen from within because that's a different frequency. Yeah, shit is saying he works 25 hours a day. Wow. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Elliot, good to see you. Elliot, where are you from? The new guy is saying there is a saying, have a good rest of the day and night. I once heard a mother say to her child, sweet lovey dreams, and that is one that stuck with me. And she used to always say to her children, have sweet lovey dreams, and she would bring in beautiful things for her kids to have dreams about. I think it's good to have, not all rest feels restful, Like I know when I go into like a really, really deep sleep or deep healing, as I like to call it, it feels more rejuvenated. Oh no, G-Lock is wondering what actress I look like. Are you aware of the 5 factors of action? I don't know. What are they? Casey, what do you have to dish to us today? Jeshit, ya shit. I do boxing, so my body requires rest, but I don't get enough time. We have to make time. Because doing is not important than more important than being. They're equal, if not one is more important than the other. I mean, boxing is good. I'm getting ready. I think I don't want to say it out loud because then I have to commit to it. But I've been playing with some martial arts myself. Not boxing. Boxing never really resonated with me. I think because my hands are so sensitive, when I would hit, they would hurt. And I know you could build that up, but it just didn't really resonate. Hello, Paul. Good to see you're back. Baked Bread is saying I look like a college lecturer. Oh, well, it's the glasses. Let's see. South African boys is saying, I spent 4 months on only 2 hours of rest each day during the war down here. Wow. Wow. That's intense, South African boys. I must say, I need to get more familiar about what's going on in South Africa. I must say I'm not up on it, but I didn't even know what was going on in Korea, and I saw a flash of something there. So I'm so sorry. So how are you finding rest now, South African boy? What are you doing to find some semblance of stillness within yourself after experiencing such turmoil and shock, I assume? Mick is saying, would your body not tell you that you need rest? Mick, I think that's an interesting question because our body is always communicating with us, and most people are not astute on the signals of their body, and there's so much in their mind that they're not listening. to their body. So I do believe we are always getting signaled for when we need to rest, but so many of us are we're not connected with our higher selves, and we don't have that inner communication. So when you have developed that connection with your higher self, you'll get a message. And if you know how to program your energy, you can program your higher self to alert you of certain things so you can't miss the signal, which is what I've done with a lot of things. I know that might sound weird, but we're friends now. I'm okay with being different. Okay. Sure. Okay, Jono, I'm going to put you on as a moderator here. Thank you. I'm just getting it. There you go. Everybody say thank you, Jono, for helping us out here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're talking about rest and deep rest. Elliot, I'm not your wife. Maybe in another lifetime. But in this lifetime, I've got another husband. Okay, the new guy. The best time... the new guy is saying that the best time for receiving guidance from the manifestor is between 2 and 4 p.m. Or 4 a.m., I think you're saying. Depending on where you are at. And here's what I have to say without that. Do I have something to say about that? I think that there's no best time. I think there's a lot of prescribed dogmas, depending on which yogi you might follow, or what religion you might listen to, or what person who is telling you this is the best time to meditate or to receive information. And I think that the best time is when you're open. And I don't think you need to put a particular time on it. I think that humanity has been directed to use prescribed ways of being that don't necessarily fit everyone. I remember when I started meditating that they said to get up early and do your meditations at these times. And, I don't think that's true for me. And I think that these ascribed ways of aligning with your spirit and aligning with creation is when you are most open. So when is that for you? That's what I have to say. I'm not disagreeing. I just not sure that there's one way for everybody. That's what I'm saying there. And I do think meditation and yoga and religion, they have all gotten prescriptive in a way that I don't think serves most people. I think a lot of people need discipline, but prescriptive discipline, Hello, Nishil. Thank you. I think I lost where I was at in the chat. Why did the road cross a chicken? It didn't. Roads can't walk. Okay, thanks, Chosen. Hey, Joey's saying happy Wednesday, everybody. Okay, Dr. Crankin, good to see you here. The problem with me is that I become too harsh on myself. I always think whatever I do is not enough hard work. Well, Dr. Crankin, that's a belief system, right? So first of all, you're not alone, right? You're not alone. There's a lot of people that have these beliefs and have created inner violence against themselves. And that can stop once you become aware that that's what you're doing. So then once you have that awareness, you can choose to do differently. But what if you just chose to work smarter, not harder? Can you do that? and then look at what are the beliefs that you have about working harder, and say and decide, okay, no, I'm not going to believe this anymore. I'm not going to believe, because those aren't smart beliefs. Maybe you could try that. Thank you so much, Dash. Hey, Kevin, it's been a while. Good to see you. Hi, Destiny. All sleep is rest, but not all rest is sleep, right, Jono? True. True. And, you know, sleep goes in an ebb and a flow. There was a time in my life where I was going in to deep healing. I mean, painful deep healing. When you're healing the shadow aspects of yourself, could be physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually exhausting to realign. And I would sleep, and I would say I sleep. I don't have a problem with sleep, but I could sleep. I would sleep 10, 12 hours a day. And I had no problem with it. And I'd wake up fine. I wasn't sick. I just needed a lot of rest. And even now, maybe once a month, I'll do a stint where I sleep one day a month. I'll sleep like 12 to 14 hours. And I'm not sick. I'm just needing that rest. And I listen. Anima is saying, good speech is always positive. It's not a waste of screen time. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Somebody is saying my doctor just gave me a diagnosis, reported to him that he has lungs. I think that's lung cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. May you have easy healing. Buenas noches. Okay. Thank you so much for Jono helping in the chat here. I'm just going to go down to see Curtis. I'm a healer similar to John Redcorn. I don't know who that is, but okay, Curtis. I'm happy to see you here. We're all our own healers, right? I'm not a fan of smoking weed. I'm not a proponent of it. I know a lot of people like to check out, and smoking weed seems to be a drug of choice, but anything that anything that keeps you going back outside of yourself is not the answer. Any questions? Oh, I've never heard of that. Jono is saying ECOSIA is a search engine as well. Thank you, Jono. So Jono's saying he would enjoy a Telegram channel. Okay, a Telegram channel. I'm thinking about that. I'm also changing all of my services coming in the new year. And on December 18th, I'm going to be offering a discount for those of you who are on my email list. Thank you, Steve. Having a great day. Jono saying, I think you should write a book on what you know and talk about. Thanks, Jono. I don't know. I get really discouraged with all the marketing, and I wonder, you know, I've created so many things that, you know, I'm not into marketing. So if you don't market to the masses, then how do they find you? You know, I don't know. I just don't know about a book. I was thinking about doing, now what a book I would be interested in, and I'm thinking about doing, and I think I'm going to do it. I think you're hearing it now. I think I'm going to do this in the new year. I love questions. I think questions are doorways into new expressions. And so I think I might do a book of questions. Do you know that my father-in-law was nervous to be around me because he says I ask so many questions? I'm just curious. I love to know about people. And he told me that when he came to visit, he's like, I was nervous to come because I know you ask a lot of questions. He's like, I had to be prepared. I thought that was great. And also funny because I didn't know that I asked that many questions of him. I'm just genuinely curious about people. Liz, what are you saying yes to? Okay, Antonio, the purpose of this channel, we're talking about rest today, but the purpose of this channel is really to have practices in alignment with the natural laws, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual alignment within. And I do believe rest is a big piece of that. Yesterday, we were talking about the natural law of transcendence, which fundamentally means that to have unification, you must be heart-based. Right? So how many of us are going to sleep with our hearts wide open, receiving healing during our restful times? Just interesting. You know, and I like to pose questions. Oh, Mick, your comment got redacted or restricted. I don't know. Okay, South African boy says, now that I'm back from war, I rest like I've never rested before. Good for you. Good for you. You deserve it. You know, it can't be good for your cycles to have that. And then to see what you see, it would be quite, there's no, how do you even process? So I would ask to process in your sleep what you are struggling with in your waking time. The new guy says massage is a massage to the body, relax. You know, I think massage is good. I don't like most people touching me though. Hi, Eric. Good to see you here. And Matt, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Steve. Matt is saying, why is there autonomous drones that have nuclear engine and half of life is, I don't know what you're asking here, Matt. Yes, Eric, just breathe. Red Hunter, where have you been? It's good to see you're back. AC, I don't know what to say. It's AC, his girlfriend left and is not answering her phone. I hope she's okay. My channel's name is Being in Sync with Kiana, but do you feel you're completely in sync with whatever you're seeking to be in sync with? It's such an interesting question, and I will say this channel is about being in sync with me, right? But it's like, it's not to align to me, but to align with yourself. And I am just a guide. So being in sync is that Kiana is a guide to being in sync, in synchronicity, in alignment. And I do think that I am in sync with alignment. And I think we teach what we need to heal. And obviously I was out of sync for many years before I started becoming in sync. And before I was teaching being in sync, I was in sync consulting, which I still am. And I've always instructed or taught or guided, whatever word you think works best, others to being in alignment with themselves, because that's how we resonate, and how we resonate dictates our experience and our reality, and that changes how we inform our teams, our groups, our organizations, our families. It's everything. Red Hunter saying, Kiana, sometime YouTube glitches and your channel name blocks the subscribe button. Really? Interesting. So are you saying I need to shorten my name? Huh. I've never heard that, Red Hunter. Thank you. I'm glad that you were able to subscribe, right? Maybe it just blocks for some and not others. I don't know. I've never heard that. The Daily Caller has a list of shows that shows you the last thing you need to know about the last time the Daily Show had a sort of name. I don't know what you're saying there. Thank you, Nate. Mick is saying, Jesus is the way to truth and the way, and nobody will come further by him. So keep the faith. We love the light. We live in the light, and Jesus is the light of the world. Well, I think Jesus is actually a consciousness. I think people misunderstand Jesus. And I do think that's because there's a lot of reversal energies that have brought people away from Christ consciousness. But there are many paths. Oh, Wendy likes the idea. I would definitely read a book about questions. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the support of that. Jono, it would definitely be a book that is thought-provoking. If you saw the video the other day, I have my monthly reflections. I actually have mine filled out. But it's all about you answering the questions. And, you know, the answers change as you change. So it's good to have open-ended questions. Hey, Martin, good to see you here. Nate, very nice. Thank you. Red Hunter is telling me I should have a shorter name. I will take that under consideration. And you know, until somebody asked being in sync with Kiana, I did not consider changing my name. But I really is being in sync, but I think a lot of people have their names associated with being in sync, and I think that might have been the reason. I don't know. Hello, Iquel is in South Carolina. We are, oh no, you subscribed. I thought you were saying you're from South Carolina. Oh, Red Hunter, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. All right, Wendy's got to go. Thanks for the topic about rest. Jono is saying a lot of supplements promote rest, magnesium, melatonin, ashwagandha. Do you take any herbs or medicines for good health? I do. Dare you ask? You want to see? Do you want to see how many herbs I take? I have a lot of herbs that I take, and I change the herbs that I take every 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the season and what I'm doing. I take ashwa maca, and at times I'll take ashwagandha. I do have magnesium on hand, but I don't take it every day. I do not ascribe to taking melatonin and all. But Ignatia 30C is really good for sleep and rest and also grief. That is a homeopathic remedy. If I am having trouble sleeping, that's my go-to. That's my go-to before I would take a magnesium or ashwagandha. Truth seeker. I had an old girlfriend, and when she wanted to have... Oh, so you all are so creative in how you put these terms on here that I've blocked. Red Hunter is saying, I have a question. I'm having trouble enjoying life. I love myself, check. Life is good, check. But even on vacation, I'm kind of miserable unless it's extreme and I'm not really enjoying myself and I don't get it. Huh. Red Hunter, well, that is a conundrum. Like, so why would you not, have you tried asking yourself the question, why am I, you're saying your life is good, which makes me wonder if you're saying your life is good, but you're not enjoying it, there seems to be a disconnect there, is what I would say. So let me see. What would be the disconnect between thinking you have a good life and really enjoying the life? It really seems to be a thinking thought issue that's incongruent with your beingness. So does that make sense? Because you could choose to enjoy because you're choosing to be in enjoyment. So are you making a conscious choice to enjoy or be in joy? And if not, why not? So I think there's actually something blocking you from choosing joy. And once you consciously begin to choose to be in joy, and I would start with making that a practice. And see, Red Hunter, how that helps you. I was just highlighting the word. Oops, sorry. Massage and message. When you change an A and an E, the language and the body, how it goes together. Isn't that interesting? So I love this topic of language. I love it. I want to dive deep into that because there's so many different ways in which our language and our sayings have been completely misaligned, I think is the word I'm looking for. And even one of them is, and I remember this woman that I worked with many years ago, she had trouble making money, and so she came to me having a session about money. And one of her beliefs that she had about money, and then she really was like held on to this, is that money is the root of all evil. And that's her belief. When really money is just a currency, which is what I believe. It's just a showing of how energy is a currency, literally a currency. And current. But she believed that money was the root of all evil. And then she also at the same time wondered why she didn't make money. But it was her beliefs that was blocking the potential for her. Because if she believes that money is the root of all evil, which she did, and she wants more money, but she believes it's evil. So she had this inner conflict, incongruence running throughout all of her energy fields, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And so it was a really profound healing for her. But that's just one belief. Like, we have many beliefs. That's like another matrix. Hey, good day, Rusty Dog. Being in Sync, Kiana, might be available as a name. Kiana, Being in Sync. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to make any moves right now. But we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for that. Being in sync with Kiana just means that I'm guiding people to come into alignment. It doesn't mean that I want people to be in alignment with me, but that is a very interesting perspective, which I never considered. It was just that I see myself as a facilitator, a consult, a consultant to alignment. That's really what it means to me. South African Boys says, we used to pick this dessert herb in Namibia. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. It was funny because we had no clue what it was. We had no clue if it was poisonous, but we tried it anyway, and it turned out that it helped us rest. Oh, I wonder what that was. There's so many herbs that are good for us. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments, getting to everything as much as I can. Okay, David is saying he spent his last $20 to get a haircut and took a bath in the river for an interview, and he hope he gets them off the streets. David, I hope that you're feeling alive and thriving, and you will show up as your best self for your interview. We're going to hold you in high regard and harmony to get you a new job that is in alignment. Okay. It's not all about money. Equel is saying it's all about money. It's not about money. It's about being in alignment spiritually. And that when you understand that energy is running patterns all the time, following the natural laws, then you realize that you have patterns that are running that keep you in and out of alignment. Now, money is a currency of this earth. And it has been hijacked for sure. Coriander. Yeah, coriander is really good for sleep as well. That's something that's very popular in Ayurvedic healing. Thank you, John. Equal, I didn't read your comments. I'm sorry. I just thought I read it. Did I miss something else? Equel is asking, what is this channel about? I'm sorry. To answer your question, this channel is about alignment, being in sync with the natural laws, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, always running patterns. Then that's how we align. And so that's what I'm on here talking about. This is a Being in Sync 366 video series. I come on live every day about between 12 and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I talk about various topics in alignment. If you're interested, please subscribe. I will be back for another video tomorrow. I want to thank all of y'all for joining me on this journey to being in alignment for the natural laws with this series, and it's been so amazing to meet you all. And I want to say special thank you for the mod here, Jono. You have been awesome for stepping up and helping. And he is saying rest can mean taking time for yourself. Some people need to be told to rest. Yeah. Thank you so much, South African Boys, Eric, Wendy, everybody. Have a good night. Mick, feel better. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow with a new topic. Bye.